Hello humans, Master Dinnerflax here, and today I'm going to be pushing out an ass load of videos just so if I don't get back to the channel in like 2 days, there's stuff to hold you over, or you could just be a normal human being and do something else. Um, so what this is here is a Chaos Blade. If you are familiar with me or Airblade Turbo from way back in the day, you know what this deck is. You see it. Your eyes. You can't take them off. Anyways, so you just play a bunch of light and dark warriors, so you can BLS the other really bad one, and other cards. That's really good. So let's go ahead and get into it. I'll kind of explain how this deck works as we go along. Blackluster Soldier, um, Blackluster Soldier, yep. This one, if you don't know what this one is, and this one, what it does is, when it's normal or special summoned, you can target a banished light or dark monster and then a card your opponent controls. You'll return your banished card to the graveyard and you'll banish their card. So it can hit spells and traps, which is pretty nice. 3 DDM. Um, Very good. Well, it does need a tribute summon, theoretically, and it is only 1700, and it needs a spell card to use its effect. You'll find this not a problem. As a matter of fact, you want to see this card a lot of the times as quick as possible. Because, oh, hold on, I'll just go into it when we get there. Diamond Dude, you get to declare the top card of the deck, and if it's a spell, which it will never ever be a normal spell card, you can activate it the next turn from your graveyard, or you send it to the bottom of your deck. 3 Malicious, which is what makes Destiny Heroes good as a not deck. 3 Shadow Mist, 1 Shadow Mist. You dump it. 1 Luna, and then 2 Snow. You know these cards already. You really just want to get a Snow to the graveyard, but sometimes searching and having an on-field bounce effect is pretty nice. Garoth, 2 Garoth, 1 Jane, 3 Raiden. This is for your Ties of the Brethren. Very, very powerful. Actually, insanely powerful Ties of the Brethren combos with this. You get to mill so many, you'll probably get to draw at least like 2 cards normally. Just very, very good. You're going to mill snow. If you don't, well, that's it. Draw is very good. You can banish it with your light and dark manipulators, and obviously the Phoenix Blade. And then Vision here of Ion, which makes Ties a target to the Dark Warriors, as well as just stumping stuff, like dumping a Shadow Mist to get what you need for a Destiny draw, or just dumping a Malicious itself. We got 3 Chaos Zone. You guys know what this does. It actually gains counter per monster banished rather than an occurrence where a monster is banished. So whenever you banish any monster, it will count for each monster. So it makes Chaos Divine Sword Phoenix Blade put 2 counters instead of 1, which is really nice. 2 Charter of the Light Brigade, 3 DDR, 2 Destiny Draw, 2 Phoenix Blade. Now, this is a pretty old card, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's a lot of people who don't know how it works. So it can only be equipped to warriors. Gains 300 attack. Mediocre at best. Actually awful at best. However, here's where the card gets good. This card is in your graveyard. You can banish 2 warrior monsters from your graveyard to add it to your hand. So, it's kind of like it's just self-recurring by banishing warriors, and there's a whole bunch of strategies back in the day with it. And you kind of do the same things now with like Chaos Zone and DDR and DDM, because you get to grab this spell card, toss it, grab a guy, and then you can grab it back. It nullifies the entirety of cost in your deck. So this, all nulled. Kuraz, you can just set one of these and pop it and draw a card that just floats. Very, very powerful. Mass change for the ties I was explaining. Can also just special summon back a Shadow Mist with like DDR or DDM or Chaos Zone, and that will also get its effect. Rhoda because your deck is almost entirely warriors. 3 solar recharge because it draws and mills, which makes it a little better than Destiny Draw in here. 2 terraforming because a grand total of 6 was starting to hurt a bit, so I just cut it down by 1, and it seems to help. Then 3 Ties of the Brethren, like I said, very powerful in here. You can do it with the Dark Warriors or the Light Warriors. For the extra deck, you got Pip Daddy Dante. You summon this by, you need to fuse 3 Burning Abyss monsters with different names, but its effect is really powerful, but you don't even use it for that. Ignore this. Dark Law, that's why the mask changes in here. Decode Talker, because you're forced to play Lynx now. 2 Omega, which fuel Chaos Zone, and they just move themselves out of the extra monster zone. This card is actually insane in here because I think there's been instances where I've Omega'd someone 3 times with the same Omega, and it involved Chaos Zone and DDM. It's kind of powerful in here. It's actually exceptionally powerful if you can just recur it back, and you get counters for banishing monsters out of your opponent's hand. Very, very good in here. Beatrice, which is why you even play the Pimp Dante. Beatrice is like #1 XZ in here. You make it with Malicious and Malicious most of the time. You use DDR, obviously, and you just get it back. And you're usually going to dump like a Snow or a Blade, sometimes a Mist if you're just wanting an extra plus to like Destiny Draw. Amaterasu, I rarely ever make it anymore because of the new extra deck thing, but it's still really powerful. During either player's turn, what really puts it above everything else. Castell, you need it. Pallades, you use these. You'll use multiples of these sometimes, and you'll make this. Probably bounce a card, sometimes like BLS or something crazy. Like you can even bounce like a DDR. It's really cool. M7, another rank 6. Sometimes you can just put over Pallades. I've never made it normally. I've never made it not normally, but sometimes you can, and sometimes it can come up. To Minerva, because you really, really need it. 38 you'll usually make with like the Envoys or like an Omega, and then the Omega can probably just put itself back in the extra. Really good. Utopia package. There's no side deck because this deck isn't really made to be taken very competitively seriously. You can try. It's up to you. But let me explain what this deck does. If it doesn't brick, which is kind of hard for it, um, it's practically just a deck that nullifies cost and draws cards over and over and over and over and over again until you can put enough monsters on board to OTK, and that's it. Like, you're just putting a bunch of monsters on board. You're drawing a lot of cards, so if they deal with your monsters, you can just recur them all back. That's kind of the idea of the deck. It has no form of protection. It suffers from consistency issues, but it's fun. It's actually a very fun deck to play because it has this old kind of play style to it. Not to mention, there's just a lot of fun combination of cards you can use. It's really cool. This deck is actually insanely fun. If you want to, you can play it. It's fun. Thank you all for watching, and remember, Master Dinnerflex will take your soul.